Hi everyone, it's Amy back with another free motion doodle for the Doodle School Doodle Challenge, Doodle School Free Motion Doodle Challenge. So for day 20, the prompt is wall, and I've been doodling for a while now, and I've doodled lots of different kinds of walls, but what I haven't done is a wall with graffiti on it. I'm not particularly good at lettering, so I found some graffiti lettering online and just kind of tried to reproduce it. So what I'm going to do, I've done this all in pencil so that I can erase from the background after I'm finished doodling. And of course, if you're working on a quilt, you can always use your water-soluble pencil. So now I'm going to make this into a brick wall that has graffiti spray painted on it. I'm using a really big fat marker today, partly because I don't feel like this has particularly small details that I have to have a small fine point marker for. So my bricks are coming out a little bit wobbly and uneven in size, but I'm okay with that. That's just going to be the type of brick wall this is. For my next row, I'm going to stagger them so that I've got my spaces from my first wall about halfway in the middle of the brick on the second row. So, and as I go along, if I meet one of these lines that I created, I can just go around it. And for this, I would normally keep traveling around, but just to skip that part, I'm going to go back up. And I form my bricks basically by making a figure 8 pattern. But I'm probably going to get that pretty messed up this with, while I'm trying to go around all the things in graffiti that I wrote. So just make your bricks the best way you know how. Try to kind of keep them staggered evenly with your first row. Okay, so now coming down to form the third row, and I've got quite a few little bumpy areas right here that I'm just going to travel around. And I can travel back on that line if I want. I'm going to kind of form the top of that brick and the bottom of that splatter that's around my graffiti letters. Now would probably be a great time just to go ahead and outline my letters since I'm touching the top of that R anyway. So all I have to do, since I've already drawn everything on here, is trace around it. And this font that I chose just happens to make it so that most of the letters connect. There are some that don't. So I guess here's my first place where they don't. So I'm just going to travel up the top here. And that takes me back to there. Now these parts that are inside, I have a choice. I can either break my thread and then come in and do them, or I could have figured out, the best way to travel as I was going around the outside. So let's just assume that I'm not breaking my thread. I want to travel for everything. What I'm thinking is I could probably have used this to travel in there and back out. Where would be the best place for this? I'm thinking probably right there. I could have traveled in to do the inside of that R. And then for this A, probably would need to use that or something like that. and then I can travel out. And then to get to the rest of my letters, they do connect with the splatter on the outside right there, so I can just come back over here and then travel over to that. Or I could try to connect this A with this F right there since they are so close to each other. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. That little dot is so close to that F. I'm going to just do it right now. Okay, I was thinking I would connect to those, but I don't. So now I'm just going to travel back up to here and do that outside part of the splatter. Now while I'm here, it would be a good time to put a brick in as well. So just imagine you've got a brick that kind of, well, actually line it up with your first row. So just go like this. And you're not going to see a lot of that row just with the way this splatter is. But I think about right here you would see another brick. So just try to pay attention to where the lines for your bricks would be and just make sure you fit those in. Okay, so now I think what I'm going to do is come over here to the side, put a brick in, and then I can travel down and do this. The splatters down here. Just kind of nice to get them all done. I am going to need to go over a lot of the lines again as I fill in the bricks, but I kind of just like the idea of being done with it. I'm putting in extra splatters just because it's my doodle and I can do what I want, and I kind of wanted some more. Okay. Eventually I am going to need to make my way back over here, but since I'm on this side, I'm going to fill in bricks. So there's a brick that matches that last row. Now I make a brick that matches my first and second row. So just as I go down, I try to put the spaces in the same place that they were 2 rows before, so every other row has the bricks lined up with each other. I'm pretty haphazard in how I'm doing this. I'm not really making a figure 8 motion, but as I mentioned before, that can be extremely difficult when everything is kind of having to work around your splatter. So I am going to speed up the video and just continue creating these bricks. I'm probably going to use this space, or well, probably this space to get into this T, and I might use this space to get into the dot. I'm going to figure out ways to get in here. So you can watch what I'm doing in the sped up video, and I'll meet you back here when I'm done. Okay, so there you have it. There is a brick wall with graffiti on it. I think it turned out pretty well. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you back here for the next day of the Doodle School Free Motion Doodle Challenge. Thanks for joining me. Bye now.